but still with a great deal of respect for one another. And I'm sure there's a great deal for us to learn from and to gain from. I thought for some young guys like a Derek Brown, as the more the scrimmage got going, he got better to the speed and the tempo of it all. And then the guys that generally make plays have made some plays today. You know, Austin had a couple big plays, Casey had a big play. I thought Bishop again showed up again today. So, and then defensively, I thought Josh Shirley did some nice things. I thought John Timo had a really nice day at linebacker. And Sean Parker made some plays at the open field, which was good.
What are you seeing out of Derek Brown as this goes through?
Well, this is, you know, for Derek, this is his first spring ball, you know, so it really, you know, a kid comes in as a freshman and, you know, he's the kind of third string guy, and so you're trying to develop him fundamentally. And now he's into, okay, the fundamentals we're still working on, but now we're into the nuts and bolts of understanding the offense and the scheme. And there's some really good moments, and there's moments that we're just not playing fast enough. Derek's not playing as fast as he's going to need to play to really be successful. But you know, the goal is for that to improve, and I think it will. I think, you know, you look back at Keith's first spring. I don't know. He obviously wasn't the player that he is today, and so that's part of the development and his commitment to continue that development, which I think is there, and that's the challenge.
Is it largely been his footwork, and how do you get that right?
Well, it's, you know, it's the ability to take what you do in individual drills and then carry that over to 7-on-7, and then carry that over to team settings, and then carry that over to scrimmage, and then ultimately carry over to the game, and not lose those fundamentals because now you have to think about a read or receivers, and now there's linemen, and now they might be blitzing me and I'm protected, and all of a sudden that kicks in and you lose your fundamentals. And so the challenge is to where the fundamentals become just second nature, and he doesn't have to think about them, and he can play fast, and he can remain focused on the things that he needs to be focused on, and that is the defensive protections and the offensive sets and these things.
It sounds like you were happy with the mechanics of the scrimmage and
you
getting some tape.
You know, the one pick by Sean was a heck of a play there, undercutting the corner out. You know, I'm sure he'd love to have that back. It was a nice play. But, you know, these scrimmages can go astray when you start fumbling exchanges from the quarterback center, or shotgun snaps, or exchanges with the back and running backs. I thought that was, for the most part, pretty clean. We had one there late in the scrimmage, but that's the stuff to me, and lining up, not lining up wrong, were just a bunch of dumb penalties. And I thought we were okay there. And so now it's where were we good and where were we not so good, and the things that we have to build upon, and that's going to come through studying the film and then getting that point across to our players. No, we know what it is. It's going to be a week or so. It's a loose bone, but again, it's not season-threatening by any means. Well, I think this is invaluable. That's these kids. This is awesome. You know, and they're going against some good defensive linemen. And, you know, Shelton and Shirley and those guys for now, and Talia's rolling again now. So the reps are good. You know, I'm sure. You know, are they perfect? No. We're not there yet, but we'll take these reps. And would I love to have Tana Gala? Sure. Would I love to have Schaefer? Sure. Would I love Eric Kohler? 100%. Yeah. You know, so there's things there that could be better, but I think we will really benefit from this time with these young linemen and get these reps that are going to help us in the fall. Yeah, it's been pretty cool, and it's been very spirited, you know, and I don't think it by no means is it manufactured. The defense is winning these plays. You know, we had the goal line setting today where it was a 10-play sequence, and it ended at the end of 10 plays, 5-5, and we went one more play with the ones to see if we could win the drill. The defense won the play, you know, and so that stuff, you know, I think is exciting for our defensive players, that they are winning some of those competitions with the offense. I think that builds spirits, builds morale, and builds confidence.
Does that bug you as an offensive coach, or does that enlighten you more as a head coach?
It fires me up, man. Our kids are competing and they're playing hard, and you know, at those moments of truth, as we like to call them, they're executing and making plays.
Do you see a couple of things they really maybe are doing better right now than they did at times last year?
That's probably a little too early to say that, you know, to make that comparison. We're still in the growing stages, you know. We just really finalized basically our spring install. There's going to be a couple wrinkles as we move forward, but you know, the overall body of work, I think at the end of spring will be a little better to assess that. But I am really excited about our ability. We're much more sticky in coverage. I can say that. That is that's definitely very evident to me in the back end. That we're on guys. You know, we're covering guys. We're matching routes really well, and against good receivers, and they're contesting balls, which is making it tough on our guys.
That was a philosophical change. That's what you're
No, I think that's a coaching style and a brand. I think that's Justin's specialty is the back end and really understanding that. And he does a great job of coaching and teaching.
As far as new defense installs, learning this defense.
Oh, I think we're pretty far along, but we still have a ways to go. I think Justin will be the first one to tell you that. But, you know, we've got quite a bit installed, but we're not perfect. We've got a lot of work to do to get right. And there's moments when we'll be really good, and there's other moments when we're not so good. And so that's just part of the progression of installing new defense.
How hard is it to learn from guys?
Well, I think the hardest part is the language, the terminology. You know, there are some carryover scheme-wise from one to the other, but sometimes there's the same term being used for something totally different. You know, and so that's one of the challenges as to where they hear it and they can just go play it and not have to think about the verbiage. And so I think that's one of the challenges.
Because of what happened to your defense last year, is it encouraging if they're getting the better of your offense so far?
I like seeing our guys compete. You know, I think that's the biggest thing that's exciting to me. That our guys they're bringing it. They're coming to work when we're taking the field, and they're battling in every phase. And I think one thing I was just touching on with the team about that I've appreciated this spring is we've really accepted the notion of the next play mentality. Regardless of what happened the play before, our ability to move on to the next snap, whether that pass play was good or bad or we weren't a part of it, their ability to go to the next snap and focus on the next snap has been really good on both sides of the ball. And I think that's been a real credit to our guys on the defensive side as well, that if they have given up a big play, if they have given up a touchdown, if they did get beat or miss a tackle, their ability to come back to the next snap to me has been something that's been really good. Yeah, it's awesome. And you'll get more as we go through the spring. You know, obviously, we have a pretty good idea of who Price is and what he's about. So as we go through spring, we'll see a little bit more of Derek Brown working with the ones and getting Thomas Vincent in there with the twos and getting him some experience.
Lawyer and Petty have been out the last couple of days?
Yeah, Lawyer had a kind of a hip strain, so we'll see. The sooner we get him back, the better. I think he's got a bright future. And Desden has had a tight back the last couple of days, and a little bit unfortunate because this would have been a good day for him to get carries, but we got to get him healthy.
How do you feel the energy was for the first sort of scrimmage?
That was awesome. You know, it was coach's clinic, and we're cramming everybody here on one sidelines, and but I thought our kids were energized. They were into it. It was fun having coaches and families and wives and kids running around, and so the energy was what I hoped for.
What do you get out of the coaches' clinic?
Everyone loved it. They loved the intimacy of it. We had some real quality speakers come from Bo Baldwin at Eastern to Coach Goncharoff at Bellevue and Coach Lattiser at De La Salle to Coach Bellis from Hamilton, and all three very highly respected programs. And so they got that stuff, and then to be able to get out to practice and see our guys work, I think was good as well.
Guys who made the biggest jumps so far this spring.
Oh, man. I'm still staying up front offensively. I think Atoe, I think Hatchie, Christie, they've all done some good stuff. Dexter Charles, those young players, and they're getting a lot of reps, and they're going against good guys. They've done a nice job. Before getting injured, I would say Greg Dupree defensively. I think he's played really well before getting the concussion there. After that, it was just it's hard to nail every guy right now. Michael Harvickson is playing really well. Had a great catch again today. So a lot of guys, different positions, are getting better.
And Andrew Hudson, seemed like he made some plays out there at times too.
Hud's a very active guy. He's not the biggest guy in the world, but he's very, very strong, and he's extremely active. He's got a motor reminiscent of Daniel Teo Neshine, where they just don't stop, and they make a lot of plays because their relentless attitude and nature in which they play.
Is that role a whole lot different than what he was doing last year, where he is now? Or?
A little different. He's a little bit more inside. You know, I think that role could change some when we get Samisi back, when we get Holy back. He could be back on the edge a little bit more, but his motor in there is what, and he's so active is what makes him difficult and for our guys offensively. And so it's been effective. Made a lot of plays today.
It felt like before Adam Long got hurt, he was kind of working his way into this rotation. What's it like just having him back? And I know it's kind of early stages.
I mean, it's early stages. It's obviously a long road back when you have that injury. You have an ACL. It's a long road back. It's at a very competitive position group. You know, the corner spot is competitive with True and Marcus and Greg and the addition of Trey Watson. And so there's a lot of able bodies there. Tony Goburn. So he's working his way back, and I think it's obviously there's a comfort level that has to come too, and not worrying about it and just letting it go and go play.
Could he realistically be in the mix come fall once he gets all that behind him?
Or? Oh yeah, I think so. You know, but again, that's going to be up to him to make that happen. You know, and then I don't think the other guys are just going to move out of the way and let that happen. So he's going to have to battle and compete to make it work.
Thank
All right,
you.
guys.